In today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to crochet a V-stitch stocking. This stocking is super cute and it's just the right size for advent calendars or maybe little Secret Santa type gifts. It's about 7.5 inches from the top to the toe and 3.5 inches wide. For this particular stocking, I'm just using 4-weight acrylic yarn. I've got some red heart in green and red, and I'll be using a 6mm crochet hook. You'll also need a stitch marker for the first rounds working the toe, and from then on it's not necessary, but you may find it helpful. You can use any yarn and any size hook that you want. If you want to size this up a little bit, you can use a bulkier weight yarn and an even larger size hook. Or if you would like to size this down a little bit, you can use a smaller size crochet hook. We're going to start first by working the toe, and you want a magic ring. And you're going to chain 1 to close that magic ring. Does not count as a stitch. We're going to work 6 single crochets inside of this ring. You can close that up after you've worked your 6 single crochets. That very last stitch that we worked, that very last single crochet, I'm going to go ahead and place my stitch marker into that stitch, and that ends round 1. For round 2, we're now going to work 2 single crochets into each stitch. So into the first, we're going to work 2 single crochets, and into the next 5 work 2 single crochets. At the end of this round you should have 12 total single crochets. Remove your stitch marker when you get to that last stitch and go ahead and work your last 2 single crochets into that stitch. After your last single crochet, place that stitch marker into that last single crochet, and that is round 2. For round 3, we're going to work the repeat of a single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next, one single crochet in the next, and 2 in the next. You're just going to repeat that 1-2 pattern all the way around. Take your stitch marker out for that last stitch, work your 2 single crochets into it, and place that stitch marker right back in that last stitch. For round 3, you should have 18 total single crochets after round 3. Round 4, this is the last round that we're going to work in the round. We're going to work a single crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets into the next. So the pattern is going to be a 1-1-2 pattern. So a single crochet, a single crochet, and then 2 single crochets. You're just going to work this all the way around. You should have 24 stitches at the end of round 4. I've got my last stitch to work. I'm going to put my 2 single crochets into that very last stitch. And you should have 24 stitches. At this point you don't necessarily need your stitch marker. If you find it helpful to mark where you started, you can go ahead and keep using it. I'm just going to put mine off to the side. I'm going to pick up my main color, which is this nice green, into the next stitch. I'm going to slip stitch to change colors. Pull everything tight. I'm going to go ahead and cut my red yarn. And now we're going to work the V-stitch pattern. To start the V-stitch pattern, we're going to chain 2. This chain 2 will count as a double crochet, and it's going to be the other half of our V-stitch. So after we work around, we're going to finish that V-stitch on this right side. We're going to skip 2 stitches and work a V-stitch into the next. A V-stitch is going to be a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet right back into that same stitch for a nice V-stitch. We're going to go ahead and skip 2 single crochets and work a V-stitch into the next. And we're just going to do this all the way around. A V-stitch, skip 2, V-stitch in the next. Skip 2, V-stitch in the next. Skip 2, V-stitch into the next. So just work that all the way around. Once you're back around, you're going to work a double crochet in that same space where we joined and worked our first double crochet out of. Chain 1, and you're just going to slip stitch to the top of that turning chain, and that will give you your last V-stitch. We're going to work a V-stitch for 3 more rounds. We want to work backwards into this very first V-stitch. So I'm just going to yarn over and slip stitch through that chain 1 space. And now I'm going to chain 2. And that counts as a double crochet, and we'll finish this V-stitch when we get around. And then you just work a V-stitch into each chain 1 space. I am back around now. There's my V-stitch, my last one that I need to work into. There's my first chain 2. So I'm going to go ahead, work in that chain 1 space, work a double crochet, chain 1, and then slip stitch to the top of your chain 2 to join. So you're going to work that around 2 more times, so you have a total of 4 rounds of V-stitches, and then I'll meet you back here and we will start the heel. I'm back around, going to work that last double crochet, chain 1, slip stitch to join, and you can fasten off the green. So we've got our toe done. We're now going to work the heel. To put on the heel, I'm going to work over 15 stitches. And to do that, I'm going to say this is my center. I'm going to count over 2 rows of V-stitches. And I'm going to start in that double crochet right here. I'm just going to start with a slip knot using the red for my heel. This was where I ended right here, so that's my middle V-stitch. I'm going to go over, there's one to the right, and there's my second one. So in that top of that double crochet from the V-stitch, that is where I'm going to join. Now it doesn't really matter, I just like to line it up that way, since that is sort of my seam, this center V-stitch, but it really doesn't matter. You're going to work over 15 stitches, and chain ones count as stitches. So you really can join anywhere that you want. So I'm just going to slip stitch to join, and I'm going to chain one and count that as my single crochet. Into that first chain one space, single crochet, into the next stitch, which is the top of our double crochet, we're going to work a single crochet. So I've got 3 stitches, single crochet into the next, into the space, and into the next. Now I've got 6. We're now at our center, single crochet, and the spot where we joined is a little tricky to find that stitch. And now we're going to work over the next 2 V-stitches. So single crochet, single crochet, single crochet. I have 12 total, so I'm going to work a single crochet over the next 3, to make 15. We're going to work in rows now, and we're just going to chain one, turn, I'm going to single crochet in the same, and into each stitch all the way across. Make sure you have 15 single crochets, and you're going to do this for 5 rows. So you want a total of 5 single crochet rows. Obviously that first one counts, so this is my second single crochet row. And I'm just going to work this, making sure that at the end of this row I work into that chain one, as that did count as our first stitch. So here's my chain one, and I'm just going to single crochet into it. If you're unsure, count your stitches. You should have 15. So work this until you have 5 rows of the single crochet for the heel. When we come back, we will finish the heel and then work the base of our stocking. I've worked my 5 rows of single crochet. We're now going to create the end of the heel. So I'm going to turn my work so that my hook is on the back side of it, and what you want to do is just fold over your heel. So you line up those 2 edges, and all we're going to do is slip stitch across both sides. So I'm going to go in through the front of that forward panel, through both loops of the stitch, and then on my back panel. And I'm just going to slip stitch. I'm going to do this through both sides, all the way down through every stitch. You're just going to go in from the front all the way through to the back panel, slip stitching. At this point you can fasten off. And if these tails are getting in the way, go ahead and weave them in so they don't cause you further annoyance. So there's our heel. We're going to flip our stocking up like this so the heel is on the right side and our toe is on the left side. We're going to continue working around. So if this is our stocking like this, we're going to work around this portion here to create some length or height on our stocking. So pick up your green color or your main color. I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook, and I want to start in this space right here. So this space right here, it's on sort of like the corner, and I'm just going to join in that space with a slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 2, and that's going to be the end of our V-stitch on this side, just like what we did down here. We're going to skip to the next V-stitch, which is right here. You can kind of follow those V's up, and we're going to work a V-stitch right into that chain 1 space. Go to the next V-stitch, just follow them up. It's not going to be these, it's going to be those chain 1 spaces. And work your V-stitch into that chain 1 space. Go to the next. So not those, it's going to be where those V-stitches are, and work a V-stitch into that chain 1 space. And now I'm going to work into this space right here. I'm going to work a V-stitch right into that space. You might have to pull up those double crochets a little bit since it's a further stitch. We're at our heel. I'm going to skip this first row of single crochets and work into the next row, but you basically want to work 4 V-stitches as evenly as possible around that heel. So there's my first. I'm going to skip a row of single crochets and go into the next row, work my V-stitch. I'm going to skip that seam right here and work on the other side a V-stitch. You just want 4 V-stitches as evenly across that heel as you can get, wherever you feel like they need to be spaced. So I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4 V-stitches. We're back where we started, and I'm going to work a double crochet right into that space that we joined into for this round. And pull it up nice and tall, and then chain 1 and slip stitch to join. So now we've made our V-stitch round, and we're going to do the same thing. that we did for this portion down here. We want a total of 5 V-stitch rounds. We just worked 1. We're going to keep working this, so I'm going to go right back into that last V-stitch that we worked with a slip stitch and then my chain 2. And now I can work V-stitches in each chain 1 space all the way around, and then finishing with a double crochet, chain 1, and slip stitch to join. So you want a total of 5 V-stitch rounds for the growth of our stocking. We've already done 1. Go ahead and work 4 more, and then we'll put on the border, the cuff at the top, a little chain loop, and we'll have a stocking. I've worked 5 total rounds in the V-stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm back here. I just need to join, so I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And now I can fasten off the green. All we need to do is put 3 rows of single crochet on the very top. I'm going to pick my thread back up, start with a slip knot, and I'm just going to join in any stitch. I'll join in the back, that way we have ourselves lined up when we place our loop. Just go into one of these stitches in the back. I'm going to try to work over top of my tail, and I'm going to join with a single crochet. I'm going to work a single crochet into each stitch and chain 1 space all the way around for 3 times. So you want 3 rows of single crochet for the top border. I've worked 3 rounds, and I didn't slip stitch or join each round, I just worked in the round. So I'm just going to finish up anywhere kind of where I started. I can slip stitch now to join that 3rd single crochet round. We're going to go ahead and put on a chain loop, so chain 20. Once you have your 20 chains, we're just going to slip stitch right back into that last stitch right where we chained out of. Go ahead and slip stitch for our chain, creating a loop. I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then I can fasten off. And there's our stocking. How cute and easy are these stockings? You can mix and match so many different colors. You can add bells. You can even add little appliques if you wanted to. You can really make these super cute, and they make great little packages for little gifts that you might be giving somebody for the holidays. They also look really cute hanging up over the fireplace or anywhere around your house. I hope you enjoyed this V-stitch stocking tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!